everybody. Welcome to The Laugh. I said this last time. The laugh after the hey everybody is, I guess, my thing. Hey everybody. Maybe that is. I don't know. Come on, stop laughing. I'm just having a great time tonight. Welcome to, I think this is going to be the first of a side series. A side series called it's called IMO Retro Reviews. I haven't done an IMO review in a while, mainly because I haven't seen anything really new. And usually when I do my IMO reviews, they're on newer movies that I either pick up or such. And I haven't I haven't picked up movies in a few months. So I'm all behind on a lot of the big movies. You know, I haven't even seen Captain America or any of the new movies, mainly because I just haven't picked them up. I just can't afford them. So I figured, well, why don't I do IMO Retro Reviews, which are movies that aren't old enough to be in Thursday Throwback, but still, you know, within the 20-year time period where they're new, but I'm going to call it retro anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. I was just in a mood for a comedy. I wanted to see something different, something I haven't seen in a long time. And as you can tell from the title, a belch is coming. There's the old belch from the old Defendings. Sneaked out. Wow. A couple of them are trying to get out. Yeah, as you can tell from the title, I'm watching Goldmember, the Austin Powers, the last in the Austin Powers trilogy. Although I do hear that him and Jay Roach are getting together to possibly do another one, which is going to be very interesting. Michael Myers is who I'm talking about. Not the Halloween Michael Myers, but you know, the guy. Which is going to be interesting because I think I heard in this movie, which is the final, that this took place in 2002, which really made my head spin thinking, wow, this movie is old. The trilogy is old, 2002. Anyway, yeah, so I figured instead of, because I've seen the first and second so many times, and the third one was always like the one I didn't care for, the lackluster one. I figured, you know what, let me just throw it in and watch it and see where it goes. And I mean, apart from the opening credits, within the first 10-15 minutes, I was laughing out loud at a lot of the stuff. And it may be, I'm just saying maybe, it may be not because it was really funny, but because how dated a lot of the jokes are. It's amazing to think how big these movies were, these Austin Powers comedies were, back in the early 2000s, way before Marvel, way before Hollywood took on that sequel, that superhero, that remake type of, I'm not even going to say, I was going to say, imagine if they remade. Who knows if this new one that they're working on isn't a reboot. Although I hear Mike Myers is involved, so I'm sure he'll be coming back. It'd be great to see an Austin Powers with Mike Myers and bring Dana Carvey in there. That would be great. As the villain, maybe. Come on, Hollywood. Anyway, Hollywood has changed so much, and they're all into, you know, just making a series of movies. What's the term? I can't think of the term off the top of my head right now, but it's all the same thing over and over and over and over again, or remaking or reimagining over and over and over again. It's amazing to see that this was a big movie, that there were movies out there, especially the Austin Powers series, where when you saw the trailer, you were like, oh my God, a new Austin Powers, I gotta rush to the theater and see it. Well, anyway, in a nutshell, just to give you a little history, I loved the first two. The first Austin Powers was a great little movie, a parody of the 60s, the Matt Helm, what was the James Colbert ones? The Flint movies, the James Bond movies, as it were. And that was just out of nowhere, came out, became a hit. Mike Myers, genius. And then in the second one, The Spy Who Shagged Me, he just started making these characters, Fat Bastard, Mini-Me. Of course, Dr. Evil returned. And then the third one came, and to be honest, I really love the second one. The second one is still my favorite. After rewatching this one, the second one is still my favorite of the series. I just find it really funny. The old Will Ferrell comedy, the Will Ferrell, not comedy, what do you call it? Oh my God, I just drew a fart fake. I can't think of cameo. I should have thought of the 80s singer, the rap singer. Was he a rap singer, cameo? Or was he just a soul? Anyway, and then the whole time travel thing, and the whole thing in outer space at the end with the cloning, all the different Austins and Dr. Evils, and I really liked the second one. So I thought I'd give the third one a chance. I figured, well, maybe I'll do this as a series, and I'll start with the last one and go backwards. So Goldmember, I don't know if when I first saw it, or even when I saw it when I had it on DVD, because I did. I'm watching the Blu-ray three-disc set. I don't know if I just didn't like it because it was already getting tired, and I just didn't, those jokes weren't as funny because there were other comedies coming out that had more modernized, and comedy was changing. Comedy was really getting away from the slapstick and the goofy makeup. You know, back then you also had the Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy doing all the, well, Rick Baker, fantastic makeup, doing all the different characters and things like that. Comedy was changing. It was getting a little more raunchier, and it was just changing. It was different. And then when Goldmember came out, it was just like, it's a little behind. It's a little behind, like Mel Brooks got. Mel Brooks was like the 70s and the the 70s. He was just like so great. And then as it went on, it started to get behind, and comedy was moving forward, and he was still doing the shtick of the of the past, and they just weren't as funny. Dracula Dead and Loving It just fell on its face. And why am I talking about that? We're talking about Goldmember. So anyway, yeah, I didn't care for this because I really didn't care for Goldmember, the character itself. He instantly reminded me of Monty Python's Graham Chapman. I don't know if anybody else sees that, but for some reason, whenever I see him on screen, I instantly think of Graham Chapman playing this, like from a Python-type film. And his character is just disgusting. He's just, you know, not the eating of the skin, the peeling skin, and the bad accent, and nobody can understand him. You know, your Faja, my Faja. What do you mean? You know, oh, he means his father. You know, stuff like that. It just, and then the Austin shtick was like, oh, we're done with this. It's funny, but it's not really. Okay, flash forward to tonight. Rewatching this thing, I didn't have a great blast, but I laughed out loud a lot. There were a lot of scenes that really, and it really made me laugh a lot. And it might be because I'm getting older and I'm seeing all these modern comedies, which I don't find funny at all. I talked maybe months ago, maybe, I don't know, maybe when I was doing my defendings, the Seth Rogen comedies, Neighbors, or things like that. They just don't make me laugh out loud. They're funny, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, Hangover is funny, but there's nothing that just like shocks me and makes me laugh out loud. And maybe watching Goldmember again after all that stuff, after the history of comedy kind of changed in movies, I just got it was like comfort food. It was like a Twinkie from the past, and not a moldy Twinkie, but a Twinkie from the past. And I laughed out loud at so much. Just the opening scene alone, which I totally forgot, with the cameos. Well, the entire movie has cameos, but Austin being basic, we're watching the opening and it's a huge, big action scene, and it turns out Austin is Tom Cruise, and the girl, Dixie Normus, is Gwyneth Paltrow, and Kevin Spacey is Dr. Evil, Danny DeVito is Mini-Me, and that was and then Spielberg had a cameo, and it was like I said, that was the time when this series, Austin Powers series, was so popular, so big, that these people wanted to do these cameos in this movie. And from what I remember, I'm not sure, but from what I remember, it really didn't do that well at the theaters. Anyway, yeah, loaded with all those cameos, and the thing about Goldmember and Dr. Evil, and then there's a rap music video when he's in prison, which is kind of really funny, made me laugh again. I noticed in this movie Austin didn't do any like naked behind something like he did in the last two movies. And I'm kind of glad, because that shtick was a little done. It was like, we don't need to see that. Although there was the peeing scene where he's breaking into Mr. Robato's lair, and he's hiding behind the statue, which is peeing, and the guard sees that he kicked the plug out, so the peeing stopped, so he had to pee in the pool, and then the guard. Like I said, it's not a great movie, but there are moments that are really, really funny that made me laugh out loud, and it was just fun. The ending. John Travolta plays Goldmember at the very end, and you know, there's this whole, what was the Kevin Smith movie where it ended in a movie theater? I can't think. What was that? Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back? I can't remember. But there was one of the Kevin Smith movies that ended in a movie theater, and they're watching kind of their life or something, and they're all coming out, and you're seeing all these cameos of his past movies. The ending of this movie ends in a movie theater. And again, they're watching Tom Cruise and Gwyneth Paltrow. And you find out the villain, Goldmember, is John Travolta. And Fat Bastard lost all his weight, but he's all hangy skin. Yeah, Fat Bastard's in this too, as a sumo wrestler. And Mini-Me, when he changes size and then he changes into like a mini Austin Powers. And although we had, I believe it was the second Spy Who Shagged Me, The teaser trailer reenacted the opening of the first Austin Power movies when they're all dancing down the street, but they did them all with little people.
See Austin Powers again.
To see Mini-Me, Vern Troyer, be a little mini Austin Powers in the same suit, and he even had the bad teeth. It was like he had perfect teeth before. Now he had the bad Austin Powers teeth. Where'd that come from? It was just fun to watch. This was a fun little experience, and I don't know what else I can tell you that. Just revisiting this movie, I had a really good time, and I just want to tell all my viewers out there, if there are any, if you're bored and you have nothing to see and you're kind of getting tired of the new stuff, go back and watch Goldmember. Go watch the trilogy, the Austin Powers trilogy. And I'll say, even if you do go back, do like kind of what I did. Go back and watch the last one, the not as funny one, and see if it can blossom that humor you had when you first saw it years and years. 2002, my God, that's a long time ago, man. Anyway, speaking of a long time, I just want to do a real quick congratulations to the Cubs, the Chicago Cubs, after how many years, never been in the World Series, finally won the World Series yesterday. And of course the town went crazy and everybody's very happy today. I went shopping today at the Jewels, and gosh, everybody was just in a great mood. Everybody was still wearing their Cubs stuff. And I'm not a sports fan. I really am not a sports fan. But being from Chicago, born and raised in Chicago, and being a Chicago team, knowing the history of all the losses, all the hopes and dreams and desires of them winning and finally getting to the World Series again, they finally did it, and they finally won. And I just want to say a big congrats to the Cubs. It was a great thing. And yeah. So anyway, it's old Roger D for Channel Donstar, watching IMO retro reviews. Get the antennae. And I watched Austin Powers Goldmember, and I had a fun time. So check it out again if you want. And that's it. We'll see you in the next review or video, whatever. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.